Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. If you're watching the playback, you can fast forward through this part. Hey, Mary Beth. You can fast forward through this part and then you can watch it back. So you don't have to watch all this part. All right, let me move this out of the way. So look, this is the fabric insert, Mary Beth. Look how cute, right? So cute. And see, there's no sewing, but it is going to be perfect. I'm just gonna tell everyone that if they don't use art glitter glue, they just might want to be, hey, Night Fear, happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, everyone. Right? And the only thing I'm going to warn people is if you don't use art glitter glue, be wary about how your glue dries, because if it dries white, you're going to see it white on the fabric. So the other one I'm going to do is I'm going to use this fabric. Look at this fabric. Hey, Jen. This fabric is so cute. The macaroons. I've seen it and I was like, oh my gosh, the colors. Look at the colors. It's so cute. Hey, Mary. Hey. Mary Lou and Mary Beth. Okay. So I am basically tonight, this is probably, I know, right? It's so cute. I got, anyone wants to know where I got the fabric, I got it all at Joann's. And I just randomly go in there and I'm like, oh my God, that fabric's so cute. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'm going to buy it. So I am showing how to make, and this is, you can make this any size you want. I know, right? Any size you want. I'm just showing how to make this size, which is a, it will end up being, I think let me tell you, it'll end up being 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's 4 1/4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1/2. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 is what size this one will be. Hey, Liz. Hey, Kennedy. Hey, so you can make these any size you want. I know. Let me find my, I've been writing in my journal. I think I moved it last night because I was doing something. Here it is. So you can make it any size you want. Like this is a personal one that I've made. This is a completely different size, but once you get the gist of it, you can make it any size you want. You can make it all fancy. This is all sewed, but you don't have to sew it. So this is basically the breakdown of making this without a sewing machine. I mean, you could get fancy and like take some embroidery thread and like sew some stitches over the top. But hey, Soto Crafts. Hey, Anna. So I am just going to show you how to make your own fabric inserts. So what inserts are is if you have a traveler's notebook, they go in there and they slide in and you can remove them and replace them. And I personally, look how fat. I'm almost done with this one. Like I have a couple more pages. But you can remove them, and I use mine to journal in, and I add a whole bunch of stuff whenever someone sends me things. I put it in here, and so cute. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. So tonight, we're just going to work on the cover. Getting some pages together and actually sewing the pages in and whatnot. We'll probably work on that next week. And I'm probably going to change. Hey, Linda. I'm probably going to change my Alba. Hey, I'm probably going to change my Saturdays to Friday. And the reason why is you have, like, my husband, okay, so me and my husband got a setup. So when he gets off of work, after dinner's done and everything, I clock out and he kind of clocks in and he puts the kids to bed. Well, Saturday has always been his day off to where he can sleep as late as he wants and I take care of him. Sundays are my day off. So I think I'm going to start changing it to Friday. And we also play video games. And so I think that Hey, Therese. So I think I'm going to change my Saturday Night Lives to Friday. But again, so we are just going to be making the cover tonight. And if most of you ladies have made journals before, you'll probably know how to put your own papers or whatever. Again, you can make this whatever size you want. So whatever size you want this to be, that's what size you can make it. So what you need on this project is any fabric, glue, which I prefer art glitter glue. Y'all know how I feel about art glitter glue, and I'll tell you why in a second. And cardstock. Plain cardstock, you can use colored cardstock or pretty paper. I just use plain cardstock because you're not going to see this anyway. You will not see it. The one thing I recommend is if you have a lighter color fabric, you are going to use a white cardstock. If you have, like, here's another thing. You can use pink cardstock, right? But if you have a whiter color fabric, you will see the pink through the cardstock. So that's something to keep in mind. For you, Jan, hey, does the Big Shot and Amazon list come with? Does it come with, what is it? I guess I don't understand the question. Hey, Deb. Hey, another thing, I'm going to do a video, and I'm sure Deb and Mary Beth and Kat's working tonight, so she's not on my live, but I'm sure she'll watch the replay. We are all doing a one paper challenge. So basically the rules are we're all going to pick a paper pad that we haven't used, and then we cannot use any decorative paper. We can use regular cardstock like this or any kind of embellishments, but we cannot use any kind of decorative paper until we finish that whole pad. So no matter what project we're working on, we have to use that paper pad that we have chose. And that's starting March 1st, so guys, tune in for that. And I will do a video on it. Deb's going to do one, I'm sure, Mary Beth, and we're going to talk about it in a little more. So, hey, Liz, I didn't understand your question you were asking. What? Use a paper pad? Yes. Look at this, guys. I'm almost there with this. Remember how I was showing y'all? Look, guys, there was 48 pages, and I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages left. And I'm about to use one more. Oh, the Big Shot on the Amazon list. I ordered it today. Do you have to order anything else besides it? Besides the dies, no. It comes with everything you need. That's what I ordered, and that's what I got a friend too. It comes in my aunt. It comes with everything you need. Oh, yes. Oh, okay, so chat is moving fast, yeah. Wow, that's cool, Therese. That's what Jen wants to do, so maybe Jen can collab with you on that. But she's leaving. Yeah, you're going on vacation. All right, so again, for this project, fabric, the reason why I prefer art glitter glue. So remember, whatever glue you use, you want it to dry clear. So if you use a glue that dries white, you're going to see it through your fabric. So that's something to keep in mind, that you can do this with whatever glue, but then you want to be careful because some glues cause the fabric to get kind of hard, or it seeps through. If you notice, there's glue all the way back here, but I don't think you'll be able to see. The fabric kind of looks aged, but there's no glue that seeped through, and if there was any, it dried clear. So, okay. Here we go. So what I did was to make this size. Now remember, whatever size you want. So just when I'm talking about this size, you can make this any size you want it to be. So just remember, I am just going to show you how to make this size because this is the size that I want to make. Oh, it's so good. All right. So this is what we're going to make, but I'm going to use a different fabric and a different paper. So that's just some scraps. So basically, to get this size, all I'm going to do is take an 8 by 11 and I am going to cut it in half, which is at 5.5. So on the 8.5 side, I am going to cut this in half at 5.5 inches. Okay. So since I have, let me move this so we won't get confused. Okay. So since I have this, right, I need a cardstock exactly that same size. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out, since this is my fabric, I was going to use, isn't this fabric, if you didn't see it, this macaroon fabric, so cute. Oh, that's cool. All right, hold on, show. All right, so, yay, April 3rd is so. All right, so here we go. So I was thinking about using this color because I think this orange will really complement. Plus I'm trying to use up, and I think it's kind of an orangey, but then I was also thinking about using the pink, but I like the orange better. All right, so because the fabric, I know the fabric is so cute. So let me move the fabric out of the way. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take my piece of paper, and you can make, I always try to make 2 inserts at one time normally because you're already making one, right? So, and it kind of goes faster, but so I'm going to cut this at 8.5 because remember that was the width of our cardstock. So our cardstock is 8.5. So I'm going to cut my 12 by 12 down at 8.5. Okay. And so now I'm going to cut this down at 5.5. So 5.5, and this paper is the same size as this paper. Okay. So we also are going to, while we're cutting, well, no, I'll do it step by step because I don't want to confuse anyone. All right. So now what I do is I just take my fabric and I cut off a piece that is the size that I need for to cover my cardstock with a little bit of an overhang. And I'm just making sure nothing underneath it is going to get cut that I don't want to cut. All right, so I am just taking my scissors and I'm cutting both sides. And the reason why I'm cutting 2 sides is because remember, I always make 2, but you can make your pockets with that too. So, let me do, and if you guys have any questions, just let me know if I'm going too fast. I might, I'll let you know, Therese, because you said April 3rd, right? Yeah, I would have to go, I need to go get a 6x6, which wouldn't be complicated. Okay, so, be cool. I think it'd be fun. All right, so it just depends if I'm done with my other one. Oh, I'm using American Craft. They're my favorite. I have Tim Holtz, all the Tim Holtz, but these are my favorite. They're American Craft. They never go dull. It works on everything. All right, so let's take one piece of my fabric. So this is super simple, guys. So what I'm going to do, and normally, y'all know I sew everything. Normally I would sew after I did all this part, but this is still the same steps. So if you do have a sewing machine, it's the same steps. You just sew afterwards. So I'm just going to make sure I get my edges really well because that's important because you don't want it lifting up. And then I am just going to get the center. I mean, you don't need like a crazy amount, but you want a good amount. And I'm trying to get my camera to pick up there. You can see the glue. So her name is Jen. So I am just going to glue this down to our fabric. What if fabric is so pretty? And then hold on, I gotta text my husband and say I'm live. Yes. Hold on, I'm gonna mute this. sorry. I'm sorry, my husband's texting me about dinner. No mustard. Call Matt's phone. Sorry. All right. So then what you're going to do is once it all has such a huge, yes. Aw. It's a good night. Gone midnight here. Aw. Oh, it's early here. It is 6:31. Okay, so basic clubs. Okay, so hold on. I am just going to I'm going to cut my edges to just get the bulk off of them, right? So you want to kind of leave a little bit. See how there's just a little bit? Not too much. And with fabric, it's a little more trickier than cutting paper because it shifts. But if you have your glue down okay, you'll be fine. And there's really no wrong way to do this. So I am just basically going to cut. So here's the thing. If you notice, I have quite a bit of fabric because you could always, which I'm not going to do on this tutorial, but when you put this paper on, if you wanted to cut it a little shorter to have like a border, you could, right? And that's why it's habit to leave it, because sometimes I do that. It just depends on how I feel and what thread I'm using and what kind of stitch, which I've always used the same stitch. So now what I'm doing is I'm just gluing the sides down. So not very complicated, not using any special tools. I am just pushing it forward because you want it to be lined up on the edge, right? And so next I will move on. Fabric everywhere. The string. So next I am going to move on to the other side. Well, I know people do, this is an actual insert, right, for the TN. So people make laminated covers, right? But this is the actual thing that goes into the TN. So I wouldn't recommend laminating this part, right? So let me get my TN. So here is your traveler's notebook, right? So this is the book that goes inside of it. Where is my journal that I was just showing? I put it to the side. Where did I put it? So this is the actual little book that goes inside. So let's pretend these are the same size. So this is the book that fits inside of here. So you don't really need this part laminated, because if you have the cover is what's laminated. The insert isn't, because the insert is basically the book that goes in and out. Like this is considered an insert. So this is what I'm like, let me show you. So I'm teaching you how to make this without all the sewing. So, I think that you don't, like I was telling someone else, they were saying that they use, this is so simple. And all of the ones I've made have been made exactly the same way. I don't think you need any special thing. You just need fabric and paper. Works out. It doesn't fall apart. I mean, I've pushed this to the max. I've put ink on it because I have fabric and I would love to make it into a cover, but I'm not sure if no, I wouldn't recommend laminating I mean, this could be its own journal. Like, see, I carry this by itself, but this actually is my insert and it goes in my TN. There's so many different TNs. There's so many videos on how to make a TN, and that's usually where they laminate it. My book's like so fat now, but I'm teaching you how to make the insert that goes inside the TN. Quick question. Does anyone use laminating machine? If so, what do they recommend? I would recommend the cheap one, which is the one at Walmart for like 20 something. I mean, there's not a special one. Okay. So next I am going to finish. So it's the insert part, which is kind of, I wouldn't recommend laminating an insert. The cover, yes, but not the insert, if that makes sense. Scott brand, yeah, that's the one. Just they sell it at Walmart and everywhere else. That's one I have. Works great. Works fine. You don't need anything thicker than that. So, all right. So next, and that makes the insert, like, maybe later after we have some books I'll teach. But I'm really a big person on, like, I have a couple of TNs that are leather. I really like leather. But with this book, when it's done, guys, you don't necessarily need to put it in anything. It's so pretty on its own that you wouldn't need to put it in anything. I keep mine in some at times, but you don't necessarily need it. So this on its own could be your own junk journal, your own, but it is considered an insert. That's what I call it. That's what I consider it. So, okay, here's where we're at. So we have the back of it. So now you just want to make sure which one do I want to be top and which one do I want to be bottom. And on this one, I honestly don't think it matters. And then I picked this paper. So again, remember how I told you you could cut this down a little bit and on the top and the bottom. And because I brought the fabric so much in, you would have, but I don't know how that would work with not sewing it if it's going to be lifting. So I think with this not being sewn, I would recommend it being the same size as your paper on the inside. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to, let me make sure I'm not missing any questions. I am just going to make sure I get the edges really well. And then remember, whatever glue you use, you want to make sure that you're using a glue that dries clear. If you guys do not have art glitter glue by me shoving it down y'all's throat all the time, you should invest in it. It's the greatest glue. Once you go, and you have to have the little bottles because the little bottles make a huge difference. But you can ask any of the ladies that are in this chat that use art glitter glue how it changes everything, and will they use any other kind of glue unless they have to. All right. So I am going to, yeah, the container. You know, I just bought some new ones because they're bigger, and I'll show y'all in a minute. Hold on. So I am just trying to line this up as easy as I can. If it's not perfect, it's fine. So there we go. So that is our, and here's my other one that I made, right? So now I'm going to show you how to put the pockets on, right? Because every insert should have amazing pockets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, and I kind of have this measured out, but let me show you how I figure out what I want my pockets to be. So I kind of fold this over a little bit, right? And I will pretty much say you need a gap in between where your line is and where. So I just mark this with the pencil, right? Well, it's 3.5. So if y'all are doing this exact size, you're going to want to cut your paper by 3.5. Now I know, so let me do that real quick. I know your pocket should never be more than 3 inches tall, because anything over 3 inches, it's hard to get stuff in and out of. So I'm going to cut this paper down at 3.5 long ways. And then I am going to cut two pieces at 3 inches. So 3 inches, 3 inches. So there are my 2 pockets. So we're going to do kind of the steps we did before, except we don't need an inside cover because you're not going to see it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my 2 little pockets on any fabric. I just cut this already, so we're going to use this one. And I am going to glue this down. And you want to leave a border on all sides because you want to fold it over like we did with the cover. And so I am just making sure I have a border. So here, here, and here. And then I'm going to move this one over enough to where I can cut them out and still have a border on each side. So I'm moving this over, and there we go. So now I'm going to just cut these two pieces out and leave some space so we have a border. And then any of the scrap paper, I don't get rid of it because you can make really cute fabric tags to go in the book with it. You can use the fabric, you know, to embellish different things. It's super cute. So all of these scraps do not go to waste. Do not throw them away. All right. In the series, you guys will have a finished cute journal with not a sewing machine. Now, a sewing machine, if you guys ever want to splurge, makes all the difference in the world. And if you want to my recommendation, I recommend getting a Brother and a computerized one, and I think they're like $100. No, I can get a 6x6. I just never have bought them before because I'm always like, I might as well buy a 12x12. I can just cut it down. But I've learned that I'm really in ephemera right now, and in order to make the ephemera pieces, you want 6x6s. So girl, I'm fixing to get a bunch of 6x6s. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm mitering the corners on the fabric just like we did on the insert, and you know, leaving a little gap where you can fold stuff over. And then I'm going to do that on both pockets. It's so weird to not sew these because I'm like, it's sewing time, but yeah. All right. And then I am going to, and if you guys do have a sewing machine and you have any questions or whatever, my email is always in the description of the videos. You can ask me anything. I will give you my recommendation on threads to machines to anything if you guys ever have a question. All right, so now we're just going to glue the sides. Hi, my crafty table. Hey, Renee. Oh, cool. I'm teaching everyone how to. Oh, I love to sew. It's my background before paper crafting. So I was making quilts and doing all kinds of stuff prior to paper crafting. I know, is Kennedy still on? All right, so then I am going to sew, I'm gluing all the sides down. 1 second. All right, what happened? My chat went away. All right, there it goes. I was like, something happened. All right, so all I'm doing is just gluing and folding this over. And if you're coming late, remember, be careful what glue you use, because if you use glue that doesn't dry clear, you will see it and it will look kind of different, especially if you're using a colorful flat fabric or dark colored. The only time I think it doesn't matter is if you're using, and then I know that Tombow glue has a tendency to make fabric stiffen up, so be careful with that. And okay, and then I am just getting that, so let me glue this one. Now I have like fabric strings like sticking to me, and all right, so hey F Gilmer, hi, welcome. So I do, like, normally I was telling everybody, guys, I'm changing my Saturday to Friday Night Live, so welcome. And I'm just showing how to make a fabric no-sew insert. Welcome. And it's super simple. It doesn't take long. Like, we're almost done, guys. In the short time that I have been live, I'm almost completely done with showing how to make this insert. All right, so now that the pockets have the fabric on them and they're all glued down, so the only time that I would put like colored paper on here is if you were sewing it. And the reason why is sometimes when I'm putting pockets on, I'll make the pockets where I only sew like this side so they flip, so if someone sees it, they can see it. But on this case, you don't need to put fabric on the back because you're not going to even see the inside, right? So let's just see placement of how I want the placement. And I think that that's how we're going to do it. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to glue 3 sides. So our glitter glue is really good with fabric. You don't have to worry about it lifting up or anything. And I am just going to place this. I want a little bit at the bottom where you can see the fabric, and then a little bit on the side. And then 3 sides on this one. And blah, blah. We're done. Yay. Okay. So it's a small world. So this has to dry a minute before I can do it, but how simple. And like what's cool about this is like you can put whatever you want. This is fabric, but you can glue paper to this. So say for instance, I mean not this, but we're just gonna use it like hold on. Where is it? Where is it? Did I put it here? I might have. Say for instance this had like something pretty on it, right? You could like totally glue this to the front and it would stay on. Someone's name, like I know that, let me look at mine. I'm gonna grab my insert. 1 second, guys. I haven't. No, it has no glitter in it. It's just the name that they named it. It's just a white glue. So if you look at this, these are just stickers that I've used our glitter glue and glued to fabric. This is just a sticker that I've glued directly to fabric with our glitter glue. These little metal corners that I've put, and if you guys have book corners, you can put book corners on these, but these little metal, I've used our glitter glue to glue them down, and they don't come off, they don't move. So, I mean, like you can get fancy with it, but this is the cover. So like next week, I'm going to show you how to take some paper and make the inside of it, which is all this, like, and I'm probably going to make it not as complicated. I mean, this is really like, you know, sewing and lace, but once you get the gist of it, you could add, I mean, this is, I'm going to, of course, use book pages because I always do. So if you guys have some book pages y'all want to get out, I'm going to use book pages and just different papers. So it's kind of like I kind of make it like a junk journal, but I'm a little more clean line. Okay, that's weird. Oh. Yes, I heard of that. That's, yeah, it just, here's the bottle. So there's no glitter in it at all. Like it has nothing to do with glitter. I think the reason why they came up with it, hold on, is so it dries clear, it's adhesive, it's permanent, water-based, non-toxic, and acid-free, which is good with paper crafting. And it's just white glue with no glitter in it. And my camera doesn't like white. But you can only get it online. I've heard that Joann's.com has it, which I always buy mine from Amazon. Mamie Made It sells it, but I know she won't ship right now, but Amazon's shipping. And so I think that's good. And this is pretty much it. And how cute is this? So next week, and I'm just waiting for this to dry a little bit before we bend it. But next week, I will show how to, I'm just going to let it dry. Because, see, I let this one dry, and now you don't have any problems with it bending. So next week I'm going to do a live and I'm going to show you how to put some papers together and hand sew them in. So we're going to hand sew our papers. What a cute little idea, right? And like you could glue metal to this, like little, if you have metal trinkets, wood trinkets, anything. Like I said, you can use alphas, put someone's name on it. Such a simple, easy project. I mean, of course, like, it's never this simple. And I know that Deb makes things or whatever, because I'm kind of, you know, I add so many things. But see this? This is, I'm live. This is a fabric tag that I use the same fabric on, right? And I sewed this, but you don't have to sew. Hey, Tammy, you don't have to sew it, but if you have a sewing machine, like these are little journal. Okay, I'm live, baby. I'm working, okay?
No working.
So, okay, go. So this is, so in this one, I actually like embossed, you know, did a lot. I added vellum and like, so you could do, I mean, you could make this pretty crazy. I'm still working on my Halloween one. But pockets, and y'all know, I don't know if y'all have seen them. I've showed them a lot. I'm kind of deck it out. But, you know, yes, the glue is so great. So I was showing Tammy, and I'm probably done because I'm going to eat dinner. But I was showing how to make a fabric insert for Traveler's Notebook. So next week, I'm going to show how to get some papers together, and we're going to hand sew it in. But super simple project, right? Super simple. Like all you need is fabric, plain cardstock, and some colored cardstock. And you can make one without sewing. Sorry. No, you're fine. Girl, we all have lives. I understand. You're fine. So that's what we were working on. And guys, I think I am, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Because other than that, I think I'm going to let everyone go. And I am going to go eat dinner. We do it before 3-1 so we can use more than 112. And do it before. I'm going to do it on... Deb, let me tell you. I'm going to do, so my live is on, no, it's not. But, yeah, so whatever fabric I want to pick, yeah, that's, yes. No, so we're going to be working on whatever. But it'll be okay. It'll be fine. I know, right? I'm like, Deb, you better get busy. You know how to make junk journals, so make your fabric insert today. Right? I'm glad you said that, right? Because I will have to figure it out. Oh, okay, bye. Have fun. I know it's so late there. Thank you so much. We'll let it slide. No, we're not. I am a rule stickler. So whatever fab paper I use, I might have to pick this paper pad or... No, I'll figure it out. It'll be fine. I'll pick something like neutral. Like I was looking at this paper pad when I was doing it, and like this one is super neutral, right? Like it has black and white, green, like, you know, you get something like this paper right here, you could use on anything. Super neutral. All right, so why is it that red box? I hope you guys don't see the red box. I think, okay, good. No, you're welcome. Oh, I thought you did. Oh, okay. Oh, thanks. So, yeah, super simple. But this is an easy project, Deb. You'll love this. So, make your cover with your things before the time runs out. So, on Friday, I will have a bunch of papers together. And maybe Wednesday, I'll do a live showing me getting all my papers together, right? So then I've already got them together for that project, so they won't count, right? They won't count because they're already cut for the well, no, I'm just kidding. All right, so I will see you guys, and you guys stay tuned to Deb. If you're not subscribed to Deb, Perfectly Imperfect Crafts, and Mary Beth, you don't want to miss out, because we're going to be doing a collab that starts in a couple days, where we're going to only like craft anything that we craft with. If it has decorative paper, it's going to be one paper pad until that paper pad is done. All right, well, thank you so much, guys, for joining. And if you're happy Saturday to everyone. If you missed it, happy Saturday. And I hope everyone had they're having a great weekend. And I will see you guys probably tomorrow or in a couple days. Hey, Grace. All right, bye, guys.